Hello, grade 8. Welcome to another discussion. Today we will tackle our week 5 lesson, which is the development of the periodic table. I am Sir Wawi, your ever curious science buddy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you will always be updated with my upcoming videos. So, in this topic, we will cover the law of triads, the law of octaves, the periodic law, and the revised modern periodic law. Okay, so madali lang naman yung lesson natin, na-scan ko na. And hindi naman kayo mahihirapan diyan, ano. So, just make sure that you have your periodic table, ano. Kasi nga, gagamitin natin yan, especially when it comes sa paghahanap ng atomic mass ng mga element later, ano, sa ating mga activities. Ayan. So, for our learning competency, discuss the significant contributions of early scientists in the development of the periodic table using a timeline. So, meron tayong timeline kung paano ba na-develop or nag-evolve yung ating periodic table from the very first picture up to the latest periodic table that we have right now. Ano? And then second, identify the names and symbols of the first 20 or several common elements of the periodic table. Explain that the arrangement of elements in the periodic table as 7 periods and 18 groups is based on their atomic structure and chemical properties such as reactivity. Number 4, explain that the electron structure of an atom determines its position on the periodic table. And for number 5, calculate the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in the atom of several elements such as aluminum, and explain that the elements within a group in the periodic table have the same number of valence electron. Actually, itong learning competence, sir, bakit ang dami? Yan po natin ay makakover for several weeks, mga anak. Actually, yung ating makakover lang talaga fully discussed is yung competency number 1. Okay, in week 5, I know. Pero bakit sir naisama yung 2, 3, 4, 5? May mga concept or ideas kasi na possible ma-discuss natin or mabanggit dito. Kaya siguro sinama na lang din yan. Pero hindi natin yan lahat didiscussing ngayong week. Okay, nakafocus tayo dun sa timeline of the development of the periodic table. Ayan, for the learning objectives, identify key scientists who contribute to the development of the periodic table. So, titingnan natin sino-sino ba yung mga scientist, okay, na nag-contribute para magkaroon tayo ngayon ng periodic table. Ano? And for the second one, describe the arrangements of elements in the periodic table of elements. Okay, paano ba na-arrange yung mga elements sa periodic table? So, jabang ganun na sila? Or may mga basis tayong ginamit para ma-arrange. Like for example, di ba pag tayo nagpa-fall in line, okay, find your height. Okay, pinapila ko kayo based on your height. Okay, di ba? Pero yung mga elements, paano kaya natin sila in-arrange sa periodic table in a way na talagang swak na swak sila sa kanilang mga position. Okay? So let's start. Before we continue, of course, magkakaroon muna tayo ng review from our previous discussion. Okay, so ito po, meron tayong substance na given, and then all you have to do is to give, okay, the missing information. Okay, nandiyan na naman yung mga category na dapat nating sagutan. Okay, the first one, we have oxygen gas. Okay, so it's a pure substance. Pero meron tayong classification of pure substance. Is it element or compound? Correct, it's an element, ano, because oxygen gas is composed of only one type of atom. Okay, type of molecule, of course, it's homonuclear. And for the element classification, is it metal or non-metal? Correct, it's non-metal. For the number of protons, you can check your periodic table because the atomic number tells you the number of protons of an element. Ano? So it's 8. State at room temperature. Okay, what is the original state of this substance? Is it liquid, solid, or gas? Correct. It's gas. Okay, next. What about methane? Okay, is it element or compound? Of course, it's a compound. Type of molecule? Correct. It's heteronuclear. What about its state at room temperature? Is it solid, liquid, or gas? Correct. It's gas. What about the molecular formula of this one? Methane. Okay, it's correct. It's CH4. Ayan. So what about carbon dioxide? Okay, correct. It's a compound. Type of molecule? Correct. It's heteronuclear. What about the molecular formula of this compound? Correct. It's CO2. State at room temperature. Okay, gas. Next, ayan, we have water. Pure substance. Okay, it's a compound. Type of molecule, heteronuclear. What about the molecular formula of this one? Correct, H2O. State at room temperature. Correct, it's liquid. Ayan, ano. Next, what about hydrogen chloride? Okay, it's a compound, of course. Type of molecule, it's a heteronuclear. What about the molecular formula of this compound? Correct. It's HCl. What about state at room temperature? Correct. It's gas. Okay, next. Why are some substances considered elements, like, for example, oxygen gas, while others are classified as compounds, like water or carbon dioxide? Bakit ba? The answer is, elements are made up of only one kind of atom. Though yung oxygen gas, may dalawang oxygen na bumubuo, pero hindi pa rin sila magkaiba. Only one type of atom pa din. So, considered pa din siya as element. Kasi ang compounds, mga anak, pag compounds are made up of two or more different. Nandun yung word that different kinds of atoms, which is chemically combined. So, yung example natin, we have water and carbon dioxide. Ano? Ayan. So, for our first activity, journey through the periodic table. Okay, for the objectives, to trace and explain the development of the periodic table from early classifications to the modern periodic law. And of course, we have our PowerPoint presentation. And um, okay, so for the instructions, listen as the teacher discusses the scientists and their contributions to the development of the periodic table. For the second one, join the on-the-spot activity as you apply what you have learned. And for the third one, share your answers and insights with the class. Okay, so in this activity, meron tayong mga ibibigay na mga scientist. Okay, i-discuss natin sila one by one. But right after discussing the scientist, okay, meron akong ibibigay na on-the-spot learning activity which is applicable to the concept they are explaining. So, hopefully, makasunod tayo kasi bago naman natin sagutan yung learning activities, in-explain ko naman yung concept ng scientist. Ayun ano. So, sige. You can share your answers in the class kung gusto ninyo. Okay, next. So, for the timeline of the development of the periodic table, it is started by, okay, Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner in 1817. Okay, he is from Germany. And for the second one, okay, we have John Newlands from England, okay, in 1864. And then, okay, we also have Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev from Russia in 1869, followed by Henry Moseley or um, Henry Moseley from England in 1913. And then, of course, we have Glenn T. Seaborg, okay, from USA or United States of America in 1940s. Okay, and then, of course, we have the modern day. Okay, so this is the timeline of the development of the periodic table. We can picture out, okay, how the periodic table developed because of this scientist. Ano po? Ayan. So let's start. Let's start to Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner. Ayan. We have Dobereiner in the year 1870. I observed that certain elements could be grouped into sets of three, which I called triads. Okay, in the year of Dobereiner, konti pa lang po yung mga nade-develop na or nade-discovered rather na elements. Okay, talagang sobrang konti pa lang yung mga na-discover na elements during his time. Okay, and then, paano ba group ni Dobereiner yung mga elements during his time? He grouped it into sets of three na tinawag niyang triads. Three, okay, di ba? Triads or trio or kung ano man, tatluhan. Grinupo niya yung bawat elements sa periodic table ng tatluhan. Okay, so these elements had similar chemical properties. Yung mga element na grinupo niya into three may similar characteristics when it comes to chemical properties. And then of course, he arranged it by their atomic weights. Okay, an interesting pattern appeared nung in-arrange niya yung mga elements in their atomic weight, may nakita siyang pattern. Okay, the atomic weight of the middle element was almost the average of the other two. Ano bang ibig sabihin? Di ba nag-group siya into three, naka-vertical alignment? Grinupo niya yung bawat element into three. Let's say, this one, lithium, sodium, and potassium. Okay, into three. Okay, ang sabi ni Dobereiner, okay, pag pinag-plus down natin yung atomic weight ni lithium at ni potassium at kinuha natin yung average, okay, yung sagot daw is close or napakalapit sa atomic weight ng middle element. Okay, marunong naman tayo magkuha ng average, no? Let's say dalawa yung pinag-plus natin. Okay, tapos nakuha natin yung sagot. Okay, and then i-divide natin sa 2. Okay, let's say halimbawa, another sa inyong subjects. Okay, pinag-plus niyo yung 8 subjects. Okay, and then para makuha yung average, i-divide niyo sa 8 din. Okay, ganun lamang ano. So dito, get your periodic table. Sige, kunin natin yung periodic table natin and then let's identify the atomic weight of lithium, sodium, and potassium. Okay, so this is the answer. Ano? So here, for the atomic weight of lithium, we have 6.94. For sodium, 22.99. And for potassium, we have 39.10. So, kunin natin yung average. Kung totoo ba yung sinasabi nito, operator. Ipag-plus natin yung um, atomic weight ni lithium and potassium, which is yun yung sinasabi niya. Okay, pag pinag-add natin yung first and third, okay, add natin yan. Okay, which is 46.04. And then i-divide natin sa 2. Okay, the answer is 23.02, which is close, napakalapit sa atomic weight ng middle element. Okay, yun yung nakuha niyang pattern nung in-arrange niya yung mga elements into 3 and by their atomic weights. Yun yung sabi ni Dobereiner. At ito ay tinawag niyang law of triads. Tatandaan, sino yung nag-propose ng law of triads? We have okay, Dobereiner or Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner. Okay, next. What about this one? Sige, may learning activity. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, pagkatapos natin i-discuss yung isang tao, merong follow-up activities. Ano, so marunong naman tayo kumuha ng atomic masses ng bawat element nasa periodic table. Sige, kunin muna natin ang atomic mass ng calcium, strontium, and barium. Okay, kuha na. Sige. Ayan, so this is the atomic mass of calcium, strontium, and barium. And then, ang gagawin natin mga anak next is, ipag-plus ninyo yung first and third element. And then, i-divide nyo sa 2. Ayan, so pwede nyo i-pause yung video kung gusto niyo. Ayan, so napag-plus na natin yung first and third element, then na-divide sa 2, ang nakuhang sagot ay 88.71. Malapit ba sa atomic weight ng middle element? Correct. Okay. Yes. Dobereiner's triad? Yes. Sinasagot niya yung Dobereiner's triad. Okay. Which is 88.71. Malapit sa atomic mass ng or weight ng strontium. Next, copper, gold, silver. Ayan. Yung sa copper, 63.55. Yung sa ating silver is 107.87. And then sa gold naman is 196.97. Okay, so ipag-plus natin yung first and third element and then i-divide sa 2. Malapit ba sa middle element? It's a no. Okay, so ibig sabihin pala, based on our learning activities, the law of triads is not applicable or hindi siya pwedeng gamitin sa lahat ng elements na nasa periodic table. Okay, siguro naging okay lang ito sa panahon ni Dobereiner kasi nga konti pa lang yung mga elements na na-discover during his time. Pero nung na-discover na yung mga heavier elements, nagkaroon na tayo ng iba't ibang properties sa kanila kaya hindi na talagang sumasakto. Okay, pwede sigurong sa mga first, let's say, yung mga paunang element, mga light elements, pwede. Pero pagdating sa heavier elements, hindi na. Okay, next. Ayan, why do you think some elements do not follow the law of triads like what I've showed to you earlier? Bakit may mga elements na hindi nasusunod yung law of triads? Okay? So for the answer, because their average atomic mass does not match the middle element's mass and their properties don't align. Okay, so sabi nga ni, um, what do you call this, Dobereiner, nung inarrange niya yung mga elements, nung inarrange niya, nakakita siya ng pattern, may similarities when it comes to chemical properties. Okay, and then, yung first and third element, pag pinag-plus natin at divide natin sa 2, kinuha natin yung average, nakukuha natin close yung ating atomic mass ng middle element. Okay? Pero hindi laging ganon. Kasi may mga element na pag kinuha natin yung average ng first and third, hindi nagmamatch sa atomic weight ng nasa middle element. Okay? So, and then, can loss be outdated? Pwede mo siyang maging outdated. Yes, it is. Pwede siyang maging outdated. Sabi dyan, yes. As new discoveries are made. Sa science kasi mga anak is dynamic, pabago-bago. Yung pinaniniwalaan nating totoo ngayon, pwedeng bukas hindi na yan totoo. Because science is innovating. Okay, as new discoveries are made. So, sabi pa dyan, all laws like the law of triads can be replaced or improved by more accurate ones. Okay, so, pwedeng mabago. Okay, tandaan natin. Ano? Next, we have John Newlands. Okay, in 1864, while studying the known elements, ibig sabihin niyan, habang nag-aaral siya ng mga na-discover ng mga elements sa periodic table, I noticed something remarkable. Meron siyang napansin. When I arranged them in order of increasing atomic mass, I found that every 8 elements seemed to share similar properties with the first. Just like the notes in a musical scale repeat every 8 note. I call this pattern the law of octaves. Are you familiar with the musical scale? This one? The do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so wala na akong boss pa. Aluhulian. So, kung mapapansin natin sa ating musical scale, the first note, which is the do, is naulit sa pang-walo. Diba? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Naulit yung first note. Okay, sa pang-walo. Okay, ibig sabihin dito ni John Newlands, okay, nung inarrange daw niya yung mga elements according to increasing atomic mass, yung unang element at yung pang-walo, okay, nagkakaroon or nagsishare ng similar properties. Okay, parehas daw yung properties ng pangwalo dun sa first element. Okay, just like the musical scale. Kaya tinawag niya yun na the law of octaves. Kasi pangwalo ano? Ayan. So, ano bang ibig sabihin? So, this is the periodic table. Let's say this is the periodic table na na-arrange ni John Newlands. So, try natin yung lithium. Doon tayo magsimula. Lithium. Bumilang tayo ng 8. Start tayo sa lithium. 1, 2 beryllium, 3 boron, 4 carbon, 5 nitrogen, 6 oxygen, 7 is fluorine, and then yung pang-8 is sodium. Okay, ibig sabihin, si lithium daw at si lithium is the first, si sodium is the 8th element, nagsishare daw sila ng similar properties. Tingnan natin kung totoo ba yan. So, based on the law of octaves, these are the properties. Examples, state at room temperature, texture, color, metal or non-metal, and then the density. So, yung lithium natin at room temperature, solid siya. Ang sodium, solid din. Texture, soft. Ang lithium, ang sodium naman ay soft. When it comes to color, lithium, silvery white. Sodium, silvery white. Metal or non-metal, lithium is metal and sodium is metal also. And then for the density, lithium low density, sodium low density, parehas. Okay, based on the law of octaves, okay, yung first and 8th element daw, lagi daw nag-share, okay, ng similar properties or characteristics. Okay, so here, for your learning activities, okay, pwede kayo dito gumamit ng periodic table. Ayan. So, sige. Using your knowledge of the periodic table and the law of octaves, complete the table below. Ayan. We have carbon and silicon. So, yung carbon, siya yung first element. Yung pangwalo ay silicon. Nag-share kaya sila ng similar characteristics. State at room temperature ang carbon ay solid. Ang silicon ay solid. Metal or non-metal? Non-metal. Non-metal also. Strength in conducting electricity. Poor. So, parehas sila. Okay, so nakita natin yung law of octave sa mga selected elements. Okay, pero, tandaan natin, may note lang ako. Yung law of octaves natin, based on my research or my what I have read, okay, lagi lang daw siyang gumagana sa first 20 elements, pero, or sa light elements rather, pero pagdating sa mga heavier elements, okay, hindi na siya gumagana. Okay, kasi nga, katulad din ng brainer, konti pa lang din naman yung elements na na-discover during the time of Newlands. Kaya, possible magkaroon ng inconsistencies, okay, noong na-discover na yung mga heavier elements. Ayan. So, after the Newlands, dumating naman si Demetri Mendeleev. And of course, trivia purposes, Demetri Mendeleev is considered as the father of the modern periodic table. Tatandaan natin, may father na naman ano. Okay, in 1869, I published my periodic table arranging elements by increasing atomic mass. Pareha sila ni Newlands, increasing atomic mass din. Unlike others before, I left gaps for elements not yet discovered. Okay, ito lang yung kagandahan kay Mendeleev. Nung gumawa siya ng periodic table, nag-iwan siya ng mga blankong espasyo. Ano yung mga blank spaces? Yun ay para daw sa mga hindi pa na-discover na mga elements. Okay, I was confident they existed. Confident daw siya na yung mga element na hindi pa na-discover ay nag exist talaga. And when gallium, germanium, and scandium were later found with the exact properties, I predicted my table gained recognition as a true breakthrough in science. Ayan. So, this is the periodic table of the Mendeleev. Kung makikita natin, may mga gaps na iniwan siya. Hindi lang yan yung gaps, madami pa. No? So, in 1871, I revised my periodic table to make it clearer and more useful. I grouped elements with similar properties into vertical columns, which made their relationship easier to see. Okay? So, kung mapapansin natin, okay, talagang papalapit na tayo sa katotohanan dito. Pero may, ano lang din, may inconsistencies din si Demetri Mendeleev. Ano? Ayan. So, paano nga in-arrange ni Demetri Mendeleev ang mga elements according to increasing atomic mass. So, let's have a short activity. Okay, arrange the given elements in order of increasing atomic mass and write their names beside their symbols. Then state the observed trend. Okay, so get your periodic table kasi hindi natin masasagutan to kung wala kayong periodic table. Ang gagawin niyo daw is i-arrange itong mga given element in order of increasing atomic mass. Okay, so tinuruan mo na naman kayo kung paano hanapin dyan yung atomic mass. So naka-decimal point. Okay, so according to increasing ha, so ibig sabihin magsisimula na muna tayo sa pinaka-maliit, palaki. Okay. So, the first one we have oxygen na may atomic mass na 15.9999. Okay. So, and then, anong sunod dyan? We have, correct, sulfur. Okay, kung ang ating oxygen ay may atomic mass na 15.999, ang atomic mass naman ng sulfur is 32.06. Sino yung mas mataas? Of course, sulfur. Sunod? Okay, correct. It's selenium. Okay, ang selenium naman, meron siyang 78.971. Okay. And then, of course, tellurium. Okay, ang tellurium meron siyang 127.60. Okay, ano yung napansin ninyo habang tumataas yung atomic mass? Ano yung nangyayari sa boiling point? Tumataas din ba or bumababa? Correct. Okay, so the boiling point increases as the atomic mass increases. Okay, yun yung trend nating napansin na. Next, what about this one? Arrange the given elements in order of increasing atomic mass and write their names beside their symbols, then state the observed trend. Kanina, boiling point. Ngayon naman, melting point. Tingnan naman natin kung habang tumataas yung atomic mass, anong nangyayari sa melting point. Use your periodic table, ha? Okay, so lithium muna, 6.94 yung kanyang atomic mass. Sinundan ng sodium with 22.99, followed by potassium, okay, with 39.10, and then rubidium na merong 85.47. Okay, so ano yung nakita natin habang tumataas yung atomic mass? Anong nangyayari sa melting point? Correct. Ayan. So the melting point decreases as the atomic mass increases. Okay, so let's continue. Ayan. So next, arrange the given elements in order of increasing atomic mass and write their names beside their symbols. Then state that observed trend. Ano, kanina meron tayong boiling point, melting point, and now we have density. Okay, so use your periodic table. Correct. The first one we have nitrogen with 14.01. Okay, and then phosphorus with 30.97, followed by arsenic with 74.92, and antimony with 121.76. So ano yung napansin ninyo habang tumataas yung atomic mass? Ano yung nangyayari sa density? Okay, the density increases as the atomic mass increases. Correct. Ayan. So, ano naman yung merit and demerits of Mendelev's periodic table? So, kumbaga, ano yung maganda at hindi maganda sa periodic table ni Dmitry Mendeleev? First, yung maganda muna. Good news muna. So, some gaps were left for the elements yet to be discovered. Thus, if a certain new element is discovered, it can be placed in a new group without disturbing any existing group. Ang kagandahan sa kanya, nag-iwan siya ng gaps or blank spaces para doon sa mga hindi pa nadidiscover na mga elements. Maganda yon. For the merit or disadvantage, or yung hindi maganda, he was unable to locate hydrogen in the periodic table. Okay, second, increase in atomic mass was not regular while moving from one element to another. Hindi po consistent, okay, yung kanyang idea for atomic mass. Okay, wherein he arranged elements according to increasing atomic mass. Okay, and then lastly, isotopes of elements were found which violated Mendelev's periodic table. Diba? Mendeleev arranged the elements in the periodic table according to their increasing atomic mass. Okay, but when isotopes are discovered, okay, diba ang isotopes is same element with different number of neutrons. Okay, pag different number of neutrons, possible magkaiba yung kanilang atomic mass. Okay, so ibig sabihin pala, kada isotopes ng mga element, let's say carbon 12, 13, 14, dapat may mga spaces sila sa periodic table. Parang ganun. So, hindi po pwede. Okay, kasi pag same element, isa lang yung kanilang position sa periodic table. Okay, yun yung parang naging inconsistencies ni Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay, next. So in 1913, through my experiments with X-rays, I discovered that the true basis of arranging elements is their atomic number, not their atomic mass. Okay, in 1913, dumating si Moseley. Okay, sabi niya, na-discover niya yung totoong basehan sa pag-arrange ng elements. Hindi daw atomic mass, kundi atomic number. Okay, di ba ang atomic number is also defined as the number of protons. Okay, so ganun yung pag-arrange niya. Okay, kung sino yung ang atomic number is pinakamababa, yun yung uuna. Let's say hydrogen. Okay, like this one. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon. Kumbaga, ayan, consistent na yung kanyang pag-arrange dito. Okay, in-arrange niya in order of increasing atomic number. At yun ang tinatanggap ng modern science till now. Okay, in revised periodic law, ito yung revised periodic law, similar properties recur periodically when elements are arranged according to increasing atomic number. Okay, yung ating um, periodic law ni Dmitry Mendeleev, okay, elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic mass. Pero si Moseley, okay, elements are arranged according to their increasing atomic number. Okay. In 1940s, dumating naman si Glenn Seaborg, okay, and discovered the transuranium elements, those beyond uranium, which no one had seen before. To accommodate these new elements, I rearranged the periodic table by placing the actinide series below the lanthanides. This revision helped complete the modern periodic table, giving scientists a clear and organized framework for understanding all known elements. Okay, so nasa baba yung actinide series. Ano? So, yan lang po yung ating Magni-Clancy board. Okay, next. So, for the learning activity, arrange the given elements in order of increasing atomic number. Write their names besides their symbol, then state the observed trend. Ang hirap mag-discuss pala, mag-vlog pag may sipan ka at may ubo. Napapatigil ka kasi baka umubo ka na sa lakas. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so i-arrange natin yung mga elements, okay, according to their increasing atomic number. Not their atomic mass. Kanina, atomic mass kay Dmitry Mendeleev. Ngayon naman, atomic number na. Ano? So, ano yung una dyan? We have beryllium. Ano yung atomic number? 4. Next, magnesium with 12. Calcium, 20. And then, barium, we have 56. Kaya ano yung na-observe nating trend? Ano yung nangyayari sa ionization energy? Okay, pag tumataas yung atomic number. Okay, this is the trend. Kaya ang ibig sabihin yan, across the period, okay, ionization energy increases. Down the group, ionization energy decreases. I-discuss muna natin in very simple manner yung ionization energy. Yung ionization energy, mga anak, is para siyang capability of an atom to give or lose electron kung gaano siya kahirap or kadaling tanggalin. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, sa trend natin, pag tumataas ang atomic number ng isang atom, okay, pahirap ng pahirap, okay, tanggalin yung kanyang valence electron, okay, or pinaka-outermost electron. Pero, down the group, okay, mas napapadaling alisin. Okay, so, explain natin. This is the periodic table. Let's say we have an example. Lithium, tingnan natin, or ito na lang. Potassium to krypton. Okay. Pag kinompare natin, ano yung dalawang element? Potassium, ito yung stable nating element, and bromine. Okay. So, si potassium and bromine, ilan ang valence electron nila? Naturo ko na kung paano kunin. So, si potassium, meron siyang valence electron na 1. Si bromine naman, may valence electron na 7. Okay. So, across the period, sa dalawang element, okay, potassium and bromine, alin ang mataas ang ionization energy? Of course, it's bromine. Okay, mataas ang ionization energy ng bromine. Hindi agad-agad maaalis yung kanyang mga electron sa outermost shell. Pero ang potassium, mababa ang kanyang ionization energy. Okay, kasi nga, iisa naman yung electron niya sa dulo, outermost na, madali na lang alisin at napakalayo na. Okay, napakalayo niya sa central nucleus. Okay, pero yung bromine, though madami siyang outermost valence electron, madami din siyang proton sa nucleus. Okay, nahihila naman doon sa mga electron. Okay, paloob para hindi sila madaling tanggalin. Ano? Okay, pero down the group, okay, down the group, ang ionization is bumababa. Sir, bakit bumababa? Eh, ang lithium po is 3, ang atomic number, ang francium po ay 87. Di ba sabi nyo, pag tumataas yung atomic number, tumataas din ang ionization energy? Hindi, anak. Yun ay applicable across the period. Pero pag down the group, hindi na siya applicable. Kasi, doon tumaas ang kanyang atomic number, okay? Let's say, compare natin yung lithium and francium, okay? Yung pinakadulo naman niya, okay, na outermost shell, nadagdagan pa ng isa. Okay, at yung isang yun ay nag-hold ng iisa ng electron, which is napakalayo sa ating central nucleus. Okay, madali siyang maagaw doon, alisin. Okay, tanggalin. Okay, di ba sa banding, sinasabi ko sa inyo, pag ang valence electron ng isang element is iisa na, okay, let's say, sodium, iisa na. Okay, tapos, yung chlorine is 7, ang valence electron. Ang mga element, para maging stable, kailangan nila ng 8 outer electrons sa dulo, diga? Pero ang sodium, may 1 valence electron sa dulo, so kailangan pa niya ng 7 para siya ay maging stable. Si chlorine naman, isa na lang ang kulang para siya ay maging stable. Si sodium, bakit pa niya hahanapin yung 7? Okay, kung madali lang naman sa kanya i-give up na lang yung isa para at least maging stable na siya. While chlorine, mahirap sa kanyang tanggalin yung 7 kasi ang dami nun. Okay, kaya maghanap na lang siya ng isa. Parang that's the concept behind that. Ano? Okay, next. So today, the periodic table continues to evolve as new elements are discovered and synthesized in laboratories. Scientists have added elements up to atomic number 118, which is organosan, the last element in the periodic table as of now. So who knows? Baka sa mga banda-banda dyan may sumunod pa. Diba? Who knows? Okay. We're open to that kind of idea. No? Completing the seventh period. The modern periodic table is now arranged by atomic number, electron configuration, and recurring chemical properties, serving as one of the most powerful tools in all of science. Tingnan mo naman ang periodic table, ano? One of the most powerful tools in all of science. Grabe, ano? Talagang pag nasuuna mo ito, talagang ibang level ka. Next. And so for guide question, why was Mendelev's periodic table considered a breakthrough compared to the earlier ideas of Doppler and Newlands? Bakit maganda or bakit si Mendeleev talaga yung parang nagpasimula na, gumising na, breakthrough in science? Because Mendeleev arranged elements by atomic mass and left gaps for undiscovered elements and correctly predicted their properties. Okay, kumbaga, nakita niyo naman yung itsura ng periodic table ni Mendeleev. Medyo papalapit na sa katotohanan. Ano? How did Henry Moseley discovery of the atomic number improve the arrangement of elements in the periodic table? Correct. He showed that arranging elements by atomic number instead of atomic mass solve inconsistencies and match their chemical properties correctly. Okay, and for the third one, what changes did Glenn Seaborn make in 1940s that shaped the modern periodic table we use today? Ayan, he discovered transuranium elements and rearranged the table to include the actinide series below the lanthanides, forming the modern periodic table. Ayan. So for formative assessment, read the questions carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answer on a quarter sheet of paper. Okay, for number one, who proposed the law of triads? John Newlands, Demetri Mendeleev, Johann Dobereiner, or Henry Moseley? Correct, it's Johann Dobereiner. Ano, tandaan natin, the law of triads or sets of three. What is triad according to Dobereiner? 3 elements with similar properties, 8 elements in repeating pattern, elements arranged by atomic number, or elements that are all metals. Correct, letter A, 3 elements with similar properties. Which scientist introduced the law of octaves? Henry Moseley, John Newlands, Demetri Mendeleev, or Johann Dobereiner? Correct, it's John Newlands. Correct. According to the law of octaves, similar properties repeat every how many elements? Pangilan nga? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, correct. It's letter C. 8 every 8 elements. Ano? Next, who is known as the father of the periodic table? Correct. Demetri Mendeleev. Sinabi ko naman yun, diba? What did Mendeleev use to arrange elements in his periodic table? Atomic number, atomic mass, color of elements, or the melting point? Okay, correct. It's atomic mass. What was special about Mendeleev's periodic table? A. He arranged elements randomly. B. He predicted missing elements. C. He arranged elements by color. And D. He grouped all metals together. It's letter B. He predicted missing elements. That's why he left gaps. Okay, ano? 8. Who revised the periodic law on arranged elements by atomic number? Sino nga yung nag-arrange according to atomic number? Johann, John Newlands, Demetri, or Henry Moseley? Correct. It's Henry Moseley. 9. Why did Moseley's revision improve the periodic table? Okay. It grouped elements by color. It corrected inconsistencies in Mendeleev's table. It removed metals from the table. It predicted the properties of unknown elements. Letter B. It corrected the inconsistencies axis and Mendeleev's table. For number 10, which of the following correctly shows the sequence of developments in the periodic table? Ano yung correct sequence? Ano yung una-una? Okay, the law of triads, the law of octaves, the periodic law, and the revised periodic law. Okay, so hopefully you learned something for our discussion today. And thank you so much, grade 8. See you po sa ating week 6. Malapit-lapit na ulit yung ating second quarter. Thank you so much. I am Sir Wally, your ever curious science buddy.